Hi everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Human in Accounting. Actually, the first one of this new 2025. We're already in March, and this time I have the pleasure to talk with Kim Kelleher, partner here at Luma Accounting. Kim, how are you? Nice to have you.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate being here. This is fun.
Yeah. Thank you. It was. I'm happy. We met with Kim. When was it? The Sometime last year. Well, in Scaling New Heights.
June.
That was
June.
when June, right?
Yeah.
June. All right. That
Yeah. As a
that's
matter of
all.
fact, I had to bring something with me because when you emailed me, I'm like, Alex, who? And it was through LinkedIn, and then you mentioned something, and I went, I think I know who that is. And I have to just show you that this is why I
Wow.
remember you because, and this kind of goes into some of the things I'll probably say later with don't worry, make stuff fun. And the reason I remember you is because there we are at the top of the Four Seasons Hotel with ramp as a party. And you pull your leg up and you show me your socks. So these are the best socks ever. And I was like, well, I got to get those socks. So I got my socks. And anyway, I just find that hilarious. And that's why I went, I think that's who that was.
Yeah. And that was me. I play tennis, not tennis here in Argentina. We play this other sport that it's kind of like tennis. It's called
Uh,
paddle. It's like tennis with walls, I would say. And I was talking the other day with Michael. I have two pairs of those of those socks of ramp, and I love them. I use them every time. So in next event, I already told Michael that I'm gonna ask for some new. So yeah, we met a few months ago. Well, and I'm really happy that I have you here on Humans in Accounting. As I told you, the idea here is to know a little bit more about your business. We want to know also the person behind the accounting firm. And I know you started with Luma Accounting a short time ago, and I want to ask you. The first question is, what what inspired you, or why you started Luma? Why Luma? I have so many questions. If you can tell me a little bit, that'll be great.
all right. Well, to set that up, I'm going to go back to my first business venture, which really started in 2010. And that was because I had worked in New York City in consulting with what is now Accenture. And after 10 years, I got married, and then we were pregnant with my first child, and we were not going to live there. So we moved to Oregon, and I spent actually 10 years just trying to manage having had four kids in 5 years. So there's that.
Okay.
So I took a break. So that was like career number two, first in New York, then number two as a mom. And then in 2010, I had so many people ask me when I was at PSO meetings at the school or in Little League where I got on the board, and they're like, hey, who would like to be treasurer? And no one raises their hand for that except for, people that are like math or accounting. So I'd raise my hand, and that's how I learned QuickBooks. So by 2010, I had someone, a friend, her husband left Intel, and he said, is there any chance you could do our books? And I'm like, I think so. So that's how it all started with my first venture, Raw Books. And that went until 2018. And then I'm probably going to talk about that more in a minute. But
Sorry,
in
Kim.
2008,
I want to interrupt you. So this happened in 2010. That was when. Okay, perfect. And you
yeah,
started working doing that until
I
2018. You
gained,
said.
that's right. So I gained some clients just totally through word of mouth in my community. And I then had it by 2018 as many clients as I could handle, but people were still coming as clients. And so I was like, what am I going to do? Do I really love this? What am I doing? And I decided that, hey, it'd be really interesting. I'd need to bring in more people. What if I could find more women who had put aside careers to raise a family or whatever that was my mindset at the time. And what if there was a way for them to get back into the workplace through working with me? And so I ended up finding two people over that next year in 2018. And then they worked with me until 2023. And then the universe was doing something funny because it suddenly brought me more people, like for team members. And they were all women and they had these random connections to me. And so we ended up with like a team of, I don't know, 9 people. It was all part time, they're all contractors, all that. But I was like, that's when I started really kind of going, hey, there's really something here. And so part 2, or I guess my third career, is that what I'm on now? I had met someone in my local bookkeepers and accountants group, and we sort of became friends. We started walking together and we talked shop about her firm, my firm. And then eventually her husband is like, hey, when are you going to talk to Kim about getting together? And I'm like, what? And I had kind of wanted to partner with her, but she was not ready the year before. And I was like, that's fine. It's not meant to be. And then she's like, well, let's talk about this. So Heather is her name. And she and I started really talking about it, I guess, at the beginning of 2020, well, probably in 2023. And then in 2024, we ended up practicing as a partnership. And we started having work done from my firm with her people and sort of doing this cross stuff. Practiced for almost the whole year. And we had actually, we worked on a name that sidelined us for, I don't know, 6 months. Because suddenly you got 2 people with all kinds of different things. And that was really hard. Brought in branding. So anyway, finally we went live in October of last year, 2024. And now as of 1/1, all the clients are in Luma Accounting. And it's like a new world. And it's this whole new, world.
And she had her own clients, so you made like a fusion of both companies, and that's how Luma started last year.
Yeah, and I think the thing to really say about that is that we both had the same reason for wanting to do this, because everyone you talk to will tell you, oh, don't partner, that's crazy, right? And especially depending on who's got more power or whatever. If you decide doing it 50-50, never do that, right? Yeah. And what we both wanted was more collaboration. We were not looking to be the ones in charge and you do this and you do that and you do, and only bring me the trivial things, whatever. We wanted collaboration. And what's funny is I think that I originally thought we were very, very similar in all ways. And then you find out, yeah, we are in certain ways, and in other ways, we're very different. And those differences is what kind of makes this puzzle click, because I have passion for certain things. She has passion for other things. And I really believe that that's going to allow us each to do things that we both love, which is a foreshadowing of other things I'm going to talk about later. So.
All right, perfect. And now, since you started with Heather, I'm sure there were many challenges. I don't know, what are the 1 or 2 things that you can think of that you can say, all right, yeah, definitely this was something that it took us some time, or maybe something that you think, hey, I was sure that this was going to be something really easy, but then I don't know, it took me a little bit more time than expected. Do you have 1 or 2 examples that you can think of? I want to know.
Okay. So the first thing I would say, because I knew that this question was going to be asked, my number 1 thing that I would say is a challenge just for me personally is self-doubt. And it's the combination of whatever's happened in your life, your personality, all these things, but self-doubt has caused me to always be a little hesitant to do things, right? Like, ooh, could I really do that? Would other people think that that's good enough? So I now am getting to the point where I'm really focused on, stop it. your path doesn't have to be anybody else's, right? So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because that has been pivotal to part of my journey of, oh my gosh, get rid of all that. Stop worrying about that. Do what you want to do. So then when you bring it to the partnership, yeah, there are definitely some challenges we face. I mean, I mentioned the name. I thought that would be a no-brainer. We come up with this great thing. And it took someone else, a third-party branding company, to come in and really kind of get at what they were hearing from both of us. So that was definitely a challenge. And then, I mean, the spreadsheets we created for all the stuff that needed to get done during this merger, because that's what it was, right?
Right.
And I mean, last summer, it was hard, and it was like being in a tornado. And I think the best part of that is, I mean, granted, you would not have without a merger that happening, but let's just say that you have some big change in your firm. You take on a new platform for, practice management, or if you're in tax, you take on something like that. If you're the one making all the decisions about things, that is exhausting. Like you have to have the right people in place. And I now really feel like we have two people, and though we sometimes differ in terms of opinion on stuff, if we come to the same answer, that is an answer that you can really count on.
Yeah, I agree with that. The first thing that you mentioned is something that I think 93% of human beings, I don't know why I'm putting that number, but like a huge majority, I think will identify that something that happens to, yeah, a lot of people, humans, in
And
accounting and
what's
not
funny is
in.
they don't show it. So I think you're probably right, but they don't show it. And there are certain people who I think are fine without, knowing that. But like some of us go, oh, they have everything together. They know exactly what they're doing. I don't, so I'm lesser. And in the end, it's like you have no idea what's going on with them, right? So they could be a
uh,
mess.
Plus now, in this year that we're living with AI, with social media, and the other day I was talking, I sometimes use Lunch Club. I don't know if you heard about this platform. Is I don't know. It's a cool platform that I sometimes use to do networking. Um, and I was talking with this guy from Berlin, I'm pretty sure, and we were talking about social media. That in social media, you don't see people posting failures. Everyone just showed the really nice dish they're having in this restaurant with the perfect angle, and obviously, when you wanna take a picture, you say, "Hey, is this what I want to show?" So yeah, I think I can relate, and most of people will relate with what you said, and it's also what you said. Just try to do it. It's you be confident. Stop having that self doubt. But it's something hard that happens to all of us. And tell
Now
me.
that you say that, by the way, I'm thinking I'm supposed to be working on my social media matrix of the things that you're supposed to cover, right? Firm wide or the team or whatever. And all these things I go into very reluctantly. And in the end, I enjoy writing them. But I think one of those things that should be in my mix is failures. Because how relatable is that, right? And people don't, you said they don't show that side. So if well, failure number one, here it is. Anybody else had this? Oh, it was terrible.
No,
But that
no.
I think would be great.
I think actually we both need to do a post in the near future about failures. One of the best talks I ever attended. I worked a lot with the startup environment. Another life I had, well, the same life a few years ago actually. I worked a lot with startups, and one of the best talks that I attended to a conference where this three companies were the founder. There were three different companies of three different industries. They had their own, I would say, application, but they were telling like failure stories, things that how they failed or how they thought they were gonna do great, and it was so much interesting than knowing their success story. So yeah, I think that's something. Now I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna think of stuff and put in my social media because I think that's interesting.
Oh, matter of fact, I'm just going to throw out last year, like I started going to conferences in 2022, but I only had gone to QuickBooks and now Intuit Connect. And last year I got the chance to go for a really reduced rate to Bridging the Gap, which is hosted by Randy Crabtree. And I didn't know much about it. I just knew it was a lot smaller. It was like 200, 250 people as opposed to 3,000. And the whole focus was on wellness, like mental wellness, physical wellness. People got up and shared, the presenters, like the presenters you see at other conferences, they shared things. I saw more people in tears at that thing on the stage, which some people may be like, oh my God, why would I ever go? It was the most impactful thing I've seen because they were being totally real. They shared stories of basically maybe getting close to bankruptcy, things partners had done to them. And then on the other side, great stuff. Like it was, I do wish that there was just a little more real connection slash sharing. And yeah, social media, it can be good for that, but it's not usually that. So anyway, really, really great.
Randy is great. When I met him, he shared with the people we were there. Things that I think that we might talk even today in this episode as far as well, you were in his event, but the importance of the culture of a company, importance of like stuff that it's not like strictly work related, but more like from a personal view, as we are all people. It was so inspiring, and I said I talked with him that it's hard to agree more, and things that he said it took me some time to learn, and I'm still learning. I wanted just to ask you now, and but now you're talking about failures to tell me. Now I'm curious. Like, do you think on this only in Luma? I wanna concentrate in Luma Accounting, since this is the new company that Heather and you have. Do you already have I don't know, something, a milestone? You said, hey, we achieved this. Maybe it's the name, or maybe it's this big client, or maybe it's whatever you want. And do you have already? Maybe you don't, like a failure. Now that we are talking about, or something that you say, look, this is something that I'm trying to accomplish, and I keep on postponing, or I keep on putting on my to-do list for next week. While I'm asking you this question, I'm thinking of things that I'm doing. So it's probably a question that I could also answer, but I'm asking you.
Okay, well, so this is a little funny, but for all those people that say don't go into partnership, don't do it 50-50, they will also then be like, if you're going to do it, you've got to make sure you have an operating agreement in place, right? And we started on that thing back in August, and we are still not complete. There are many reasons for it. I'm not really going to call that a failure, but it's one of those things where you went, of course, that's going to get done. And then it ended up taking all this time. With, honestly, I would say in the end, because of what we've gone through with it, I think it's going to be all the better for it, as opposed to just, okay, yeah, it's good enough, and it's done. And then you realize later, if catastrophe was to happen, oh my gosh, we did not think through all of that. So it's not a best failure there, but
No, I understand. I wouldn't put it in the circle of failure, because you're getting. I mean, you're getting started, and you're moving forward. So I can see that. And one, like, good, nice achievement milestone you can think of? Well, finally within, well, or maybe the partnership itself. I don't know. Any anything
Like,
specific that you can think of, like
as
an
a
achievement?
failure or as
No, no, no,
an
no. An
achievement?
achievement.
I mean, I will say us that website going live, the whole website. Oh my gosh, that was hard too, and
Right.
just agreeing on what it was going to, all of it, the color scheme. Oh my gosh, when you look at the stuff we put together on Pinterest with colors and whatever, and then what it looks like today, you're like, wait, did the same people work on that? But it's funny how things went, and in the end, I actually really love it. We I think that we have really focused on the culture part, and I think that's the biggest win. Like, if I think about the biggest achievements, I literally feel like this was an achievement. And I know people talk about core values, but I dare them to name what theirs are. And if they only have three, maybe they can in their firm. But I just feel like ours, I love what they are because they are so specific. And like, eye of an editor. That is a core value because we need people as bookkeeping people to be able to catch things that are unusual. Acts like a detective. So we made everything different. It was just different. It has to be different for me a lot of times for it to really sing to me and make me really buy in. And what I just got to point out is right there in the middle is thrives on collaboration. And that's like the number one thing, which by the way, for a lot of accounting or bookkeeping people, they're like, yeah, I'm going to go do my work. Right. And they don't talk to like, just leave me alone to do my work. We're like, this is in the heart of the whole thing. To come here, you have to enjoy this because we've got, a couple of levels of people. It is designed to be backup for all of it. So I think that has been really great. And the other thing that I think is the biggest win to me, oh my gosh, when you're working on something like mission, vision, purpose, I had to go and read so many times. What do each of those mean? What's the difference? I don't understand it. I read books. I mean, I read like, I'm like, what are the other companies? What are the big companies using? And they're usually a word salad of stuff, right? And so I finally one day read a book written by a guy that is here in Portland, Sean Bussey of Kinesis, and they do transformation stuff. And
What's the name? What's the name of that book? I need to ask that.
oh, the book is called. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, you asked me, and I'm going to come back to it.
okay,
But
okay. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, no, but it's like building your business model in that. And he
Hmm.
said you should have a one word mission statement, and I'm like, whoa, that I've never heard anyone say that. What is this about? So I start reading, and he's like, yeah, and ours is transformation, and somebody else's is this. And I was like, this is a very cool idea. And I kept thinking about what would we do as a one word? And I could not come up with it, but I get little phrases in my head a lot of the time, and somehow I was like, well, we really do want it to be the best experience, like the best experience for, let's say, clients. But wait a minute, no, actually, what we really want is we want to have this team, this very special place. So that's what I say in my head all the time. I want Luma Accounting to be, and Heather does too, we want Luma Accounting to be this very special place. And how are you going to do that? You're going to find people who are possibly not able to find meaningful work because of things in their lives, women, young kids, aging parents, you're taking care of whatever, but it is the most untapped resource, in my opinion, at least here in the United States, that women have been left out of the game because you couldn't go into the office, you couldn't make certain hours, whatever it is. You had to work full time. So we're like, come in here, come work with us. And when you get that going, if people really love working here and they're like, yes, this is such a great place to be, love the camaraderie, the collaboration, all of it, they should be really happy. And therefore, they are looking to make the clients happy.
Absolutely.
So then if you've got the clients being happy, now you've got the whole ecosystem of the firm being happy. And literally two of my goals, it's not necessarily this year, but like in the year or two, a waiting list, both for people wanting to work on our team and a waiting list of clients. So my things are just a little different than some other people's, but I go, yes, I remember these. I love it. So then we came down to if you're looking at everyone having like this best experience, I was like, well, you sometimes see, some like a word, period, a word, period, a word, period, or something like that in social media. And I was like, best experience ever. That's it. That's what we should do. That should be, and it's for everyone involved. And I think that has truly been, in Sean Bussey's terminology, transformational, because when I meet with a potential client that I'm like, this isn't gonna work, it's whatever, I'm able to say, you know what? We are not your best experience ever. You're not gonna like working through a client portal. I hear what you're saying. You like texting your bookkeeper accountant. You want to, whatever it is, we are now building a model that works for us. So we're only going to have certain people that are going to be our ideal clients. And I can say to other people, you're going to have an ideal experience somewhere else. So it's not a, sorry, no, you don't get to come in here. It's literally, I want the best experience for everybody. And it has just made it so much easier.
And you say it like that like you're saying it right now. You say directly to the client, "Hey, look, I see, I understand what you're looking for, and unfortunately, it's not us." You say it like that directly, correct?
Definitely. And here's a great example. Get this. When I started back in 2010, I had my number 1, number 2, and number 3 clients come on then. They had been with me for basically 15 years, okay? 14 to 15 years. They all left last month. Do you know why? We have grown into not being their best experience ever. I knew them through my community. They knew who the person was. I was the only one that they were dealing with. And I did a great job for them, and it all went great. And then I start changing, and I'm like, hey, this firm idea, this partnership, and suddenly we've got this organization. You communicate through a client portal. You do these things. That's what our clients, our ideal clients want. And they're all like, yeah, this isn't it. And I said, completely hear you. We're going to offboard you. We're going to give you, we have a passport that we give them to move on to their other land. And we're like, we want to do whatever we can to make this a really smooth transition. And it should be best experience ever for the whole lifetime of your client. So again, it just makes it easy.
Whoa. That's impressive to hear, mainly because after they had been working with you, you said, for 15 years.
Yeah.
Isn't it hard? I know the answer. It's probably yes, it is hard. But isn't it hard, like, while working after 15 years with someone in accounting? It's like you was it hard just to let them go, or you thought it was, or maybe it was hard, but at the same time you were convinced that they wouldn't have the best experience ever, and that they could find it somewhere else, and that you knew that was the case? Or how was it?
With one of them, it was harder, and he was the first client. And a lot of that sort of came down to price and things that had happened on their side and all this. So that one was hard. The other two, to be honest, no. It was mutual, that it was time, because they were, I think, frustrated by some of the things that had changed over the years, and it had kind of crept up. And then they're kind of like, wait a minute, this is not how we were wanting to do it. And I think they were just really also used to this, hey, we don't need that much. And we were doing a lot for them. We were doing like cost accounting for them. And you know the phrase, familiarity breeds contempt?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay, but
yeah.
Over time, you take things for granted. We had to, and now we put in all these things, hey, we want you to review year-end reports. And they're like, why would I do that? It just was not a match anymore. And so for me, it was not hard because I knew it was probably overdue.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
it's hard to and they were kind of bigger clients. So it was like, wow, I really think that they're going to be happier. And I think when we're happier, we're going to have people who go, we love what you're doing, as opposed to it being grating on them that you've put in a client portal. You're doing this, you're making me do that. Like, it wasn't the best experience ever anymore.
It's incredible that you're mentioning this. This last weekend, I had this asado. It's kind of like a barbecue that we have here in Argentina, where we go and eat meat with a family and friends. In this case, it was with some friends, and I had this friend of mine who was a firm owner was giving me an example of exactly this. They thought a lot of how they wanted. He has a company for a long time, and now they're changing, and they're trying to work differently. And yeah, basically exactly the same. In his case, he's working with retail, and he was telling me how bad it is to still work with this first client, because he calls him and he wants him to go physically to his house or to this his office, and that he does not work like that anymore. But at the same time, he kind of cares for this client, because it was the first one who helped him a lot. So he was like in this doubt between, and I told him, hey, look, what I think is that you need to have like this this call, or you need to talk with him and tell him directly, hey, look, exactly what you said. Now I'm gonna copy this link of this podcast and send it to my friend, because yeah, in the long run, it's gonna work better for them, and also for you. So yeah, I think that's great. You've done that, and yeah, you made me think about my friend who I don't know how he's gonna. I'm pretty sure that he ended up going to a physical meeting and spend the whole day with them. But well,
Wow.
it takes time, and it takes also you to be like convinced, okay, this is the way I'm gonna handle my clients, or how I'm gonna be working from now on.
Well, it's funny
um
because that
yeah.
honestly brings back in a little bit of that whole self-doubt that I was talking about before. Everything was based on how they felt, right? And in the case of your friend, the client's the one getting to call the shots. No, 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 I want this, I want this. But what about your friend who possibly has, let's just say they were like me and have upped their kind of game in terms of what they're doing. And that there are certain things that go along with that. And so for you to be happy in what you're doing in your job or your firm or whatever, then you've got to be true to that. And so if you're able to just admit to them, I'm so sorry, this model doesn't work for me. I need to be, at home. Everything's virtual because of this for me. And so I hear you. That's why you're going to find somebody better that wants to come to your home. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Kim, what I think my friend is his feeling is that I am here because of this first client who helped me
Mm.
15 years ago. He was patient with me, and back then I had zero clients. And he said, "Yeah, sure, stay here with me. I'll tell you what I need, and then I'm happy if you sell this to all new clients." So I think that he has like
That's
that
hard.
feeling, yeah, that feeling of,
That's hard.
all right, I can't let him go if he is asking me this, despite the fact that I know that this is not what I want. I owe him, like that feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that it's hard. But then I'm gonna ask him how it went on my next asado. I'll let you know. later on.
Yeah, you got to tell me how that ended up.
Yeah. Or if not, I'll tell him just to talk with you, to so that you can tell him how you did it on your end. Tell me, I love that you spend the time on those core values, and that you wrote them down, and that you have them printed. I want to ask you, how does it work? I understand you, if you're hiring someone to start working, hopefully they're on that waiting list to start working at Luma, and you need to hire someone, and there's this Maria on that waiting list, and it's her first day, and you show them that they will be using Slack, and that they will be using Gmail with all the suites, and um, QBO, etc. Do they have a place where they're gonna see the core values of Luma, or how does that work? Because I think it's important to share those core values with everyone who's working with you, correct?
Oh, yeah. So, in our process, for anyone that wants to join the team, they go and click a link on our website, and it brings them into a form. They fill out basically a survey. And one of the questions in there is, hey, here are our core values. And it's right there. And we say, tell us which one, two, or three of these, maybe 1 to 3, really speak to you, really like draw you in. And then tell us 1 to 3 of them that you think would be the hardest for you. So they've been confronted with that from the very beginning, and they're asked to, hey, tell me where your strengths are on there and what's going to be hard. And I will tell you, there are several people that have come back and said, thrives on collaboration. That will probably be kind of hard for me. And I'm like, not sure where this is going to go. So that is the first place they get it. And then I end up talking to them if it looks like there might be a good fit. And then we record it so that other people in the firm can hear it. And sometimes we even have them meet with people, because they need to like the person coming in needs to say, oh, there are many people here, and everyone get a feel. This is where I am really, really all about, hey, my decision I need based on the group. I am not looking to just say, nope, this is the way it's going to be. If we get a group of us, and we have a leadership team, so there are 3 of what we call lantern leaders, which are like, pods, and they're the head of it, and Heather and me. So there's 5 of us, and we talk about like everything, and we get their input on all kinds of things relating to client stuff, relating to processes, technology, all of this. It is a group think on it, because everyone has a different perspective. And how much richer is the whole decision going to be having had all of that input? And if you all agree on it, it is so rock solid. Like, it is so rock solid. So that's what people kind of get when they come in. They get to see lots of people. And then we are having to rebrand it, because it started as Raw Books. But I created a series of videos of looms, and we take them through, hey, here's what you need to know. And I got to go back and see what they all are, but there are like 10 or 15 of these things talking about, here's how we do time entry, and let's show you how we're doing that. Here's how you're going to, just all kinds of things. And then I talk through the core values with, I need to give you my take. And because I like me talking through to everybody, I finally went, oh, let's put that as a video. But then I'm open to talking about it as much as they want. So yeah, they get to see that first thing.
I love that. That's great. I like that you took the time, and that you have them written down. Tell me, one thing I did not ask you: do you work does Luma work with a specific niche or vertical, or how, or not really, and you work with all type of clients?
Well, so here's how that has gone. Over time, when you first start off, especially when I was on my own, someone asked me to do something, and I went, yeah, okay, I think so. And then somebody else asked me, and all that. And then I had this crazy, like, there probably were not 2 of the same client within Raw Books. Then we get Heather she had kind of gotten a little bit of a niche in like selling online, e-commerce. And I think she had a few attorneys and things, but we didn't have anything. And then we decided last year that I had been working with a general contractor since basically 15 years ago. And I had seen a lot, kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly with all that. But I felt pretty knowledgeable about at least that experience. And I liked it. And we had an electrical contractor as well. So then we decided, let's do construction and trades. And I'm even trying to remember why exactly we said that back early last year. But as we sunk into that and were, thinking about how are we going to market, how do we market it? How do we get in there? We ended up joining the Home Building Association here in Portland. And so we're now members of the HBA. And in there, they have professional women in building as one of their councils. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what could be better? So we're now there. But then when you start thinking about all of the AI talk going on, because truly that is going to disrupt virtually everything, right? And firm leaders might be there. I don't know, but so much of the accounting stuff, it's not going to be. There's so many jobs they're talking about, it's going to be gone. So then I'm like, well, construction and trades, how exactly is AI going to come and renovate your house? What AI is going to come and unclog a toilet? How is that going to work? Now, what those trades and construction people are going to be able to do is use AI in ways to make their jobs easier, probably on the things that they don't want to be doing as much, right? So then I'm like, that's who we want to, this is great. It all works together because like our secret sauce is, yes, we know accounting, but we also know technology and really like it. So we know things we can offer to our clients as, here's something that's going to make your life so much better. I have a great example for that. And then processes. What are you doing? Is there a better way of doing this? And if we bring in technology, this make your whole process totally better than what you're experiencing now, so that you get a best experience ever in your firm. And so when you started thinking about that, we're like, oh my gosh, it's a home run with construction and trades, because those people have to come to your home or to your work site. AI cannot take that over as far as I know. And I don't think that you can order a house, off of Amazon yet. I think you can make little tiny houses. Maybe that's true. But therefore, I'm like, we've got this whole area that I think is going to be great for not being as impacted, and we can help them with the AI piece and how it will better their experience.
That's great. So you're focusing there. It's great to have this niche. Is there any like event that you go physically where you can? Or have you gone already? Not like QuickBooks or Scaling No Heights, but where you could maybe reach your ideal client, or you have that could be an interesting thing to do. I don't know, from the sales side.
Well, and that's where joining the HBA here in Portland, I got within the first 3 weeks of having joined, I think I had 2 possible clients call me, and they are in the HBA, because you've got builders, you've got electrical contractors, plumbers, whatever, and they often go to the HBA website to look for who's there. So I think that we're one of 2 or 3 accounting firms listed. So oh my gosh, I hadn't even put that together, to be honest with you. And I go, oh, this is great. Right. So now I've got kind of this captive audience of, I can reach out to people that are already members. Hey, I'm an HBA member, or meet them at the next upcoming happy hour that they're having. They had a whole row of booths at the Home and Garden Show here in Portland 2 weeks ago. And so I signed up to man one of the 3-hour slots for the Professional Women in Building, the PWB. They had their first time ever table, the booth. And I was kind of like, I hope I don't get any hard questions, because I haven't been here long. But I was like, I think I can make it happen. So anyway, it was great. And people would come by and go, love this, love women. Yeah. And I'm like, yes. So that has been great. And I know we will find other things, because I know that there are accounting firms that really specialize not only in construction and trades, but in certain software that
Right.
goes along with helping them, Notify, Builder Trend, Jobber, all these things. And then you imagine going to a conference where that type of thing is happening. Maybe you have your own booth, maybe you're visiting the booths of all those, and you get to know those vendors. And I think that's sort of one of the next steps.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Kim, I have one last question. I wanted to ask you before wrapping up this episode. It has been great to talk with you, but I always like to finish each episode asking you for some advice that you could give either, I don't know, some other entrepreneur that it's starting their own firm. But also I'd like to maybe change that question and say what it would have been like a great advice that you could have given yourself when you started. Probably that same advice will help an entrepreneur that it's starting. But I want to, since your experience working, what's a really good one that I'll say, hey, I wish someone told me this 20 years ago. I don't know.
Okay, so I actually have three things to say to that. And the
Whoa.
first is focus on what you love. There is a book that got recommended to me by another person, I think. Oh, yeah, a person in Kinesis with Sean Buzzy. And it's a book by Marcus, I think Cunningham, Buckingham. And it's called Love and Work. And he basically lays out, hey, you're going to be spending so much of your time at work. Really figure out what you enjoy doing. And his book goes to the detail level of do you enjoy making to-do lists and checking them off? Do you really specific stuff? But at the high level, there are going to be things you really like doing and things that you're like, I just don't want to get that done, right? And the more that you can find those things, the happier you're going to be. And I don't think I paid any attention to that. When I first got out of college, I was like, what job's going to offer me the most money?
Right. Yeah.
So there's definitely, I'm sure, a maturation process over this. But the faster you can get to that, hey, what do I really get jazzed about? That's where you should be spending your time. And even within the firm, there are things I want to have nothing to do with. And that's why Heather and I can sometimes be a really great foil or puzzle piece for each other, because she will dig into legal documents and I'm like, oh my God, please no. So there's that. And then I would say get knowledgeable on what everyone's talking about, but then you can feel free to ignore it and figure out your own version. And I think I really, for so long, had been like, this is the way, this is the box, this is how it's done best. And I'm now like breaking out of that and going, all right, I'm listening to what all you people are saying, but here's what's really speaking to me and what's going to work for me. And that has been huge. And then the third would be try things. Don't make everything about, oh, this is the safe, this is the way we're going to get it done. You've got probably, listen, different people have different thoughts in terms of philosophically or religion or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe you only have one time around, in a life, right? One shot at it. So try stuff. Don't be serious about it all. Be like, hey, let's give it a try. Oh, it didn't work. That was an epic fail. Let's post that on social media. Let's just don't always take that safe route, because by the way, I think that will also be a differentiator for people that do find their own way. So
Right.
yeah.
This goes back with how we started this episode with self doubt. You can have self doubt. Just do it. Just do it. It's
Yes. What's
worst
the
case
worst that can
scenario.
happen?
Yeah, worst case scenario. That's you will learn. So it's not, even it's not okay, something bad. If it didn't work, you will learn, and next time you will not do it. But if you never do it, so I think those are three really good advice that maybe someone in the future is watching this episode, and that it make them think. So thank you for that. Kim, well, we are almost yeah finishing. It was really nice to have you here in this podcast. Everyone can go if you love what are the core values of Luma, and you want to get in touch with Kim Kelleher. You can do so in social media. Also, they can Luma. It's lumaaccounting.com, right? That's the
That's
website.
right.
People can find you
LumaAccounting.com.
lumaaccounting.com. And Kim, it was really nice talking to you. And I guess I'll see you. Are you going to go to Scaling New Heights this year?
I will see you there. I will definitely see you. We already have our tickets.
I'll take the ramp socks, and I'm gonna ask for more to Michael.
Yeah, Michael, get those ready. Yeah.
Kim, really nice talking with you. Have a really good day. All right.
Thanks for asking me on. This has been really fun.
Take care. Bye bye.